Hey guys, welcome back. All right, fellow adventurers, I'm going to talk to you today about heresies. What are heresies? Well, basically we're talking about unpopular opinions that are independently developed by you, and they're unpopular probably not just to your friends and not just to the general public, but probably to both. Okay, so your own personal circle, as well as your tribe, as well as the general status quo or society sort of thought about it. I actually was inspired by listening to a podcast I love called The Tim Ferriss Show recently, where he and Kevin Kelly, another person I admire greatly, basically did this as a group chat. I think that's an awesome idea. I love this idea of sharing with people your ideas that are original and that maybe not so popular, and just to give different perspectives. I think it's great to have, you know, an open mind to things. So I'm going to give you a list of things that I've come up with that are top of mind for me that I don't think are very popular, even sometimes in my own circle of entrepreneurs and folks that are kind of doing, running businesses and so on. I'm going to give you a list. So the first one is nomad traveling is way better than vacationing. Okay. And I think most people, like vacationing, so they would probably challenge that, but I'm going to say that actually nomad traveling or nomadism is better. I'm going to say that everyone should have a business or a side hustle. Like I'm literally like everybody, even kids, even, grandparents, everybody. I'm going to say that you should have a gig over employment and education. I think having a gig or having a project is far superior to typical education and typical careers. I'm going to say running parallel businesses is even better than running one business, or running parallel projects is even better than running one project, or running projects in a serial fashion where you do one and finish it and do another one, which is very unpopular. I think most people say focus, so that's, I think, a pretty unpopular opinion. I'm going to say don't ever, if you're an entrepreneur, don't raise money. With an asterisk, don't raise money early. And the last one is I'm going to say everyone should strict water only fast, unless you have a medical condition that prevents you from doing that for some reason. Okay, so those are my unpopular beliefs or opinions, my heresies, if you will. Let's go from the top, and I'll walk you through why I'm going to argue this, and I'm excited for you to challenge this and just knock me off my pedestal here. Tell me why this is bullshit. But anyway, this is, again, my own beliefs. I think they're not all entirely original, nothing really is, but they are things that are hard won from ideas that I've learned the hard way. And what do you like? Which one do you like the most, buddy? Okay, so first one here is lifestyle nomad traveling is better than vacationing. So I'm biased because I'm a traveling nomad right now. I've been living pretty much on the road for the last couple of years. I'm currently in Estonia. I'm Canadian. My home residence is technically in Ottawa right now. Was in Toronto, and it's in Ottawa, Canada. I have most of my stuff in storage, and I just sort of live out of Airbnbs or short-term stays. I've vacationed my entire life, and vacations are wonderful. But there's nothing that beats living in a place for an extended period of time and becoming part of the culture, really learning like the local nuances. You can't get that from like a 10-day vacation. You can't even get that from a 3-week vacation. You got to live in a place for, I think, a minimum of 2 months, in my opinion. And once you live in a city or a region for a minimum of 2 months, you start to really feel like you understand it much more better. Yeah, it's a really good grammar memory. So much better. So that's my first one. There's a lot I could say on that. I'm gonna, I love talking about this stuff, so I will talk in more detail about my experience here in Estonia on another video you can click here to watch. I've been to quite a few places now where I've done this. South Africa, Argentina, the US, the Caribbean, Curacao and Aruba. Anyway, bottom line is I think that this is the best way to travel. And so you need to kind of have a certain lifestyle where you can either work remotely and you have maybe, like the right obligations or responsibilities to let you do that. A lot of people say, well, you can't do that if you're married. I'm not married, but I've been able to do this successfully with a life partner in the past. Right now, I'm doing it successfully with an animal, and I had 2 puppies. I'm going to have 2 again shortly. So you can definitely do it with like kids. I've seen people do it very successfully with kids, families, everything. So it's only really how you want to design your life, right? And how convenient you want things to be, or how organized you want things to be. Next one, everyone should have a business or a side hustle. I actually think you learn so much from running a business versus being a like employee, okay? And oh, wow, good job. I'm getting attacked here. Running a business it teaches you so many other skills. It's an amazing education. It's also got massive tax advantages. That's why, businesses always have way better tax advantages than employees do. So, even if you're a consultant or a contractor, independent contractor, you oftentimes can actually use that and have a tax structure that's way superior to your colleague that's earning, the same salary as you as an employee. They're getting way more taxes deducted. We always kind of like to say, or I've heard this many times said, that the middle class, which is like the working class or whatever, basically props up the entire countries, because the rich basically have all the loopholes. Business owners and wealthy people basically don't pay hardly any taxes, and the poor can't afford to pay taxes. So being a business owner and being able to take advantage of not only the tax structure but also the additional income, can't beat it. We live in a society where we spend a lot of our free time watching Netflix or doing stuff that is not earning you an income, but you could actually find something you're passionate about that actually earns you a side income. So I actually think everybody should do this. Okay, next one is gigs over employment and education. So I actually think that as a continuation to my previous point, I actually think that I was not great in school, but I did school. I went to college. I actually dropped out of college, but so maybe I'm a little biased here. But I actually think that college to me and high school especially and stuff was very unfulfilling in a lot of ways. I mean, the social aspect is great sometimes, but just like in terms of actually learning stuff, I feel like it teaches a certain type of person that can learn really well in that environment. But most people, I think, actually are not optimized in that environment. Whereas if you choose to have your own side hustle or gig or business, you get to design your education, essentially. Essentially, I see business as like an education. So as an entrepreneur, I am constantly learning right now. And it really pushes you to learn all sorts of different things and get out of your comfort zone in so many different ways. And it's an amazing education. And I actually think it's better than a career as well, where you're an employee, because an employee, you typically get prescribed, just like school, exactly what you need to learn. Like, you don't get to choose. You ultimately have to learn what you're getting hired to learn, or skilled up on the stuff that you're already proficient at. So your ability to kind of stretch your boundaries is limited oftentimes. And so again, this is generalizing, because I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule, obviously, but I am very passionate about this. I actually think that, again, this is another reason why I think everybody should have a business beyond the financial benefits and so on. Okay, having your own thing beats employment and education, and classic education, any day, because it combines the two in an amazing way. Here's the next idea, and this one's very unconventional in my community. So I am an entrepreneur, and so when you listen to the wisdom that is given consistently for entrepreneurs around building a business, the idea is, like in everything in life, it's about focus, right? So you only want to have one project, one business. You should not be running multiple things. We call that shiny object syndrome, when you're chasing like all these different ideas. I have ADD, admittedly. I also have incredibly, diverse interests. So I am very biased on this opinion, and I would love to prove it. And so that's my big challenge right now, is I'm actually trying to prove that instead of me doing what I have traditionally done, which has been, more or less focusing on one business or one main thing at a time, I'm actually attempting to run multiple projects in parallel, not in a sequence, like not where you run a business and then sell it, or stop and then move it to a new thing, which is very common. Serial entrepreneurship is celebrated. But what I'm talking about, actually having diverse, different projects that are actually not even in the same business model, not even necessarily always serving the same customer, although in my case, I am trying to serve a similar archetype, but basically having those businesses that are running side by side. Now, you have to be very organized. Obviously, your time is only finite, so I only have, if somebody has one business they're focusing on 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, and I'm focusing on 3, well, guess what? I have less time. But it also forces me to be more efficient. There's also some synergies within these businesses that I'm seeing and developing that actually makes each one, help each other in a lot of ways. So the argument there is that if I have the one business, it's going to scale much bigger. It's going to focus me. People are going to take me more seriously. They're going to take the business more seriously, et cetera, et cetera. There's all these good reasons. I've heard all the arguments against what I'm doing. However, my unpopular belief here, my heresy, is that I actually think you can be more, have a better experience, learn more greatly, create something more different and unique if you have multiple projects in parallel at the same time. And that is something that I'm hoping to prove to you over time, and that's part of my running this challenge right now. The experiments that I'm running with my own life, I want to throw that out because I've done it the other way. And yes, it is, it's great to have that focus, but I actually am really enjoying working on these projects at the same time. Next one is don't raise money. Why am I saying that? Okay, I think one of the other popular things in the entrepreneurship community is raise money, OPM, other people's money. Why spend your own money? Well, what about not having to spend very much money? Come up with a business idea where you can have customers, pay you, to do what you love to do. That actually forces you to know that you're working on something that actually has value. There's really strategic ways that you can actually start something that is low cost to start, quicker to start, and then build it towards something that actually warrants you raising money. So when I say don't raise money, I mean don't raise money early. You can raise money later. I call it like scale money or growth money. Just don't use it as validation money. Don't use other people's money to prove that your idea is valuable in the market. Prove that with your own money. It also gives you huge advantages in terms of when you do want to go raise money in the future, you've got traction. And I've done it actually both ways, where you have, you raise money with traction or you raise money on an idea. Typically speaking, generally speaking, unless you have a reputation already, raising money on traction is way better because you're going to get a better valuation. You're going to be able to keep more of your company ownership. You're going to actually raise the money much more quickly and much more easily because you can demonstrate that there's value. And for all those reasons, I think it just makes way more sense. I don't know why we're teaching entrepreneurs to friggin' go out there and always raise money all the time. I think that we should actually have entrepreneurs proving that their idea works in the market and then going out raising money more successfully with more predictable success for everybody, including the investors and including you. And you, again, as an entrepreneur, I'm very pro-entrepreneur, you have more control. I've seen it both ways. You have way more control when you raise later. Last one, everyone should fast. And it's sort of tied to this other idea that I mentioned, or I didn't mention, but I should, which is like food can heal and lack of food can heal as well, So it's actually, I didn't explain it fully in the beginning, but let me explain it fully. So it's this idea that food is a source of healing, food can heal you. And also, like everything in life, the yin and the yang, lack of food can heal you as well. So fasting to me is an amazing hack in order to reset your body. It's basically a full detox of your body. And so we are not taught in our society, except for maybe in certain religious circles, to actually fast. So if you're not like, following some sort of, fast for your religion, you typically are not taught to fast. Like I had to learn this myself. There's so much great evidence about how your body can reset itself, how it can purge a lot of like negatives like inflammation, bad cells, stuff that can propagate into like cancers and into, significant illness. All that stuff can be purged on a regular basis if you do like a regular regimen of fasting. Now there's two types of fasting. The popular one right now is intermittent fasting, where you fast like for a period of time every day, you don't eat and then you eat. That one's pretty easy. I don't think it's as effective personally. I've tried both. I actually feel like, it's not just feeling, I mean, you could test on this stuff too, but if you do a strict water only fast where you do cut out everything for a period of days, you're provided that you don't have any medical condition that prevents you from doing that, which I actually feel like very few of us do have. You could actually create a situation where you can really reset your body. I would suggest, from my experience, it's very hard to do. You have to build up a bit of willpower to do this, but the side effects of it, the benefits of doing this, if you do it successfully, is incredible. You know, your skin will look better, you'll feel healthier, you'll feel younger, like everything. Like it just completely resets your whole body. Guess what? This is not something new. Like we have been around, you know, humans for hundreds of thousands of years or whatever, you know, through evolution. We've only had this much food available to everybody on the planet, you know, for most of us on the planet for the last, you know, few hundred years. If you know, it would probably last 100 years really, if we want to really kind of be strict around like how abundant food has been for us as a society. Anyway, I think we should all be fasting, and I also think we should be thinking of food as not just like something to enjoy, but something to enjoy and also to heal your body. So eat the food that's healing and stop putting poisons in our body. I've cut out alcohol for that reason. I'm limiting certain types of like processed foods and fast foods, cutting out a lot of sugar. There's a lot of things you can do to basically treat food like a healing agent and remove all the poison. Again, I think that food is as healing is probably not, you know, anything that's heresy, but everybody should be water only fasting for periods of days. I think that's pretty controversial. So there we are. Those are my opinions.